Hey, what's up, everyone? You are listening or watching the My Comic Book Journey podcast. And for this issue, we're going to be talking about Superman issue 75, January 1993. This one features words and pictures by Dan Jurgens, finished art by Brett Breeding, colors by Glenn Whitmore, letters by John Costanza, assistant Jennifer Frank, and editor Mike Carlin. And as you can see from this cover, this was the Death of Superman issue. Man, I can easily remember the comic scene of 1992, especially with DC Comics. I've always been a big Superman fan, so collecting the issues featuring the battle between Superman and the JLA versus Doomsday was something I've been looking forward to. For the promotional of Doomsday coming out, I remembered asking myself, who or what is Doomsday? Issue after issue, reading the first 7 issues leading up to Superman 75, I was really getting to the storyline and absolutely loved it. I mean, there's this rock-like creature from Krypton, looks like a monster, and, has like these killer, sharp, like bones sticking out all over him, and with every hit and every battle against Superman, because they're both Kryptonian. Could you imagine? Definitely not a. It was just definitely an issue that definitely was impressive and really captivated you, because if you were a Superman fan, to see him die like that was just shocking. But yeah. When the media started reporting Superman issue 75, I never realized how much of a media spectacle the Death of Superman was going to be. The issue was simple, and most pages were full-size panels of Superman trying to avoid any more destruction and death of innocents by taking the final stand against Doomsday in Metropolis, right across the street from the Daily Planet. Let's see if I have a photo or image of that. Here we go. There we go. Look at that. As you can see, full-size panels, and it's just punch after punch. These two were just really going all out, but because they're both powerful in their own right, it was no doubt shocking. With every punch, you could see all the glass shattering, everyone all watching from behind. It was, Superman was literally exhausted fighting. He had nothing left. He knew that he had to take out Doomsday. It was just definitely something that you just have to read. It was a quick read, because a lot of it were taken up with just a full panel. But, the comic stores I frequented at the time, I was considered one of the loyal customers who spent quite a bit of money on comic books, and sure enough, I was one of the few who got like 2 or 3 of the bag limited editions and 1 regular edition, and that was just because I was a loyal customer. They made sure I was taken care of. Just remembering the magazine shop, which would never have had many customers, tons of people were waiting to get an issue, and her team telling people she didn't have any copies left. And what was left were only for the people who reserved in advance. Remember the day after, I remember going to a local card shop, and the owner was talking about how he wished he had an issue of Superman number 75 bagged. And knowing I had an extra, I told him I had one, and he offered immediately $150 just for that issue. No negotiating. He just offered it, and I'm just like, jeez. I had 3. Might as well go ahead and open, not open one, but might as well sell one of them and help put it back into the comic book funding, comic book collecting and funding fund. So, one of those issues, I instantly sold it for $150. He offered right away, and yep, I had an issue, and I could part with one, since I had 3 others that were bagged, and then this regular issue. It was the first time I ever sold an issue for what I considered back then for a lot of money. I was asked to sell my set leading to Death of Superman, but I wasn't interested. The only reason why I sold that specific issue was because I had extras, and the owner, who I knew really well, because I also collected sports cars, wanted it badly. But in essence, that transaction worked out wonderfully, as he considered me a loyal customer to his shop and got great deals on sports cards that I purchased when his shop was still around. I think one of them was the Dream Team, the Olympic team back then, because it came out around the same time, right? So, but anyway, while Superman issue 75 made for a great read, and no doubt a lot of people purchased the issue, the true gems were actually the stories leading up to this issue. The Death of Superman was very touching, very good, but it was just those other issues, because seeing the other JLA members take on Doomsday and getting their face pounded, and a lot of them they were really jacked up by the end. It was no doubt shocking. And what's interesting is I know they made a remake or another story of it on the DC animated films, and that was also very good as well, very entertaining. But yeah, Dan Jurgens and Brett Breeding, they definitely did a wonderful job with this issue. Superman 75, definitely one of those memorable times in comic book history, and definitely a milestone. Definitely a milestone. Okay, everyone, you take care. I'll see you later, week, and see you later, everyone. Bye-bye.